Welcome to another edition of Posted Up with Chris Haynes. This guest right here, I've always been wanting to talk to for a while. I think his story is incredible. He's somebody who just, I think, caught a lot of people off guard. And I wanted to get his take on if he even caught himself off guard at times. But this is Los Angeles Clippers forward Montrezl Harrell. Montrezl, man.
How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm doing fine, my bro. Man, I thank you for coming on, man.
Of course.
I want to get into your career and where you came from and where you are now, which is, like I said, I think it's an incredible story. But first, what catch my attention is these shoes, these kicks, man. you got the Air Force Ones, and I imagine these ain't shoes you can just pick off the shelf in some store right here. How these come about right here?
Me, just at the house, just being creative, just, branching out, just kind of like how the story is, man. You said it's a lot about, me and just, it's my whole growing up and, a lot of different things that represent, who I am, where I'm from. My area code is up here. A lot of different sayings, just what I believe in life. So, it's just a lot of different creativity of, myself.
Now, speaking of creativity, you're into the fashion world, and I'm not. So I've noticed, like I got the Air Force Ones. These the high tops though, and I noticed like how I got mine like really tied up.
Yeah.
And you got yours loose.
Yeah.
So if you saw this, are you looking at that like dude's a square, like he don't got no taste, or it's just
everybody, it's all your preference really,
Okay,
man.
right.
Honestly, fashion to me, man, is how you feel, man. I really don't go off of what the next man has on or, what somebody's thinking that I'm wearing or how they feel about it, man. Fashion to me is what I feel like when I walk out of the house.
Okay, all right, that's good to know. All right, so I want to ask you, look, man, I remember when you got drafted, most people felt like you were going to be, well, initially, first round projected guy, and you fell to the second round. Can you just talk about that experience for you at that time?
It was real tough, honestly. I did the draft process back home, my home city and state in North Carolina, with my family. When we rented out this building and, just had catering and just, it was good vibes. And, I just did it back home with my family, man. But, watching the draft and just seeing how it went, I ain't gonna lie, I was hurt, honestly, looking at how everything played out and everything projected because, I definitely felt like I had did the work and I had put in the time to, be able to position myself to go in that first round. And, when that first round ended, I honestly didn't even see why I got drafted, man. Like, I really didn't. Like, I really, broke down. And I missed all that when my name was called and the whole, seeing it on the TV and everything, man. It just hit me. I just kind of was at that point of thinking, all the work that I put in and, all the things I tried to do to position myself to be where I wanted to go, kind of just fell through.
Did you get any explanation or hear chatter as far as why you felt like you dropped at that time?
A little bit. It was a lot of buzz, I think, around this injury that I had, my sophomore, going to my junior year of school at Adidas Nation. I kind of sprained my knee out there playing at Adidas Nation. It was nothing major. It didn't keep me out of any games. I didn't miss any games. So it's kind of one of those things that just kind of felt like, looking at an MRI or something like that, they felt like it would have been something that was lingering.
Okay. So Houston, you drafted by Houston. Walk me by that time frame, because you weren't the Montrezl that you are now in Houston. And
Right.
I'm gonna be honest with you. When I saw you in Houston, I was like, okay, the game is kind of went away from traditional big man type play. And I knew, they like stretch five guys over there. So I didn't know if I didn't think you were a player, but I definitely thought like maybe that's not the best fit. How was your experience in Houston? You weren't getting a lot of time. What was that like for you?
It was kind of one of those up and down experiences, honestly. Definitely was a career changer from, my rookie year into going to the second year. My rookie year, I basically didn't really play at all. In that second year, it was kind of like, somewhat of the same things, but I knew I was going to play on back-to-back nights.
Gotcha.
Because, the other center we had at that point in time in Nene didn't play on back-to-back. So, going into the season, I kind of knew that, that's the time that I would be playing. As far as, my time there, it's kind of like I said, one of those up and down type things. Because when Coach McHale was there, I was actually in the rotation. Starting out the beginning of the year, those first 5 to 7 games, I was actually in the rotation heavy. And I was still learning as a player, still learning the offense and how they wanted things done. And then, Coach McHale ended up getting fired. And then, all my minutes in that point in time just went away. Yeah. So, my rookie year, I didn't really play like that. But, I wasn't one of those players that was just cool with just being a part of the team or just being on the team. I every chance, every other couple of days, I was asking, could I go down to the at that point in time, it was called the D League. Yeah. I was asking, can I go down?
Hold on. You were asking to go down there and play.
Yeah.
Was it to get better, or you just wanted to play?
Both. I mean, we ran in the G League. Every association really runs the same plays that you're going to be running with the main team. Maybe a few minor tweaks. You're definitely going to be featured as the main guy throughout the offense, stuff like that. So you're definitely going to be having a chance to work on your game. But in that aspect, man, I just wanted to be able to play the game, man. That just being able to, go out there and do layup lines and, that really be it. Really didn't sit well with me, man, especially when, we was going through a lot of, tough stretches in that time where, we was positioned with a new coach. And it was a lot of close games that I felt that we lost that, just could have been won with a little bit more effort, with a little, extra push, a few more offensive rebounds, a few more hustle plays, charges here and there, just all the little things.
Sure, most players, and most players despise going down there. And I know, G League officials hate when I say go down there, right. But they despise that. Right. Like, when you were saying and asking to go down there, obviously you put pride to the side.
Yeah.
Like, did you view it like that as going down? Did you or did you view it as, hey, I don't want my peers or anybody the perception to look like, I'm a G League player? Because everybody's not going to know that you asked to go down.
Nah, I went down, man, because I wanted to get better as a player, man. I also enjoyed playing with the guys that I was down there with, man. There's a lot of the guys that was around that time where we was in training camp. Around this time, you going into training camp, you were with a lot of guys that's like, 18 to 20 people in the gym. And then 9 times out of 10, those guys ended up being on that G League team. And, I enjoyed playing with these guys. These guys just really wanted to go down there and just compete, get better, and win, man. And, like I said, I really enjoyed playing with those guys because they played the right way. They knew even when I came down, those guys was, happy to see me and just, embrace me like, a regular player, man. They didn't really look at it like, oh, okay, this is an NBA guy who's coming down and just going to look to get up his shots. And then, by the next second or third game, he's going to be gone. Nah, man, they embrace me as, this is a player who's going to come in here and work. He's going to make us better. He's going to push us in practice, and he's going to look, to do the things for us to get better as a team and as players.
That's incredible, man. I mean, I think that speaks to, the humbleness of you and the fact that you put all that to the side. Like, pride wasn't an issue. It's about getting better. Take me through the darkest point of your Houston tenure. Was there ever any doubts that you would get the opportunity that you felt you were deserving?
Oh, man, I was at the point of, I was always at that not knowing stage, really. Especially in my first year, I really didn't play. Going to the second year, I played on back-to-backs, but in that time I played on back-to-backs, I produced. Gave good minutes. I did all the little things that needed to be done: screening, rolling, finishing around the basket, and all those extra hustle plays. Keeping the ball alive, offensive rebounds, blocks. Just all the little things that we needed the team for us to be able to come out with wins. And like I said, I was still learning the game and still learning our system. But by that second year, I kind of felt like I had it down to where I knew what I needed to do and where I needed to be, especially on both ends of the floor. But I really would say, a lot of my whole time being there, was one of those dark times, man, because, when you go to the aspect of, not playing at all in your first year, your second year, you're only playing on back-to-backs, and, it's not really one of those stable conditions. You don't really know, or you can't really have an opportunity to really prove yourself because the only time people are going to see you is on back-to-backs, which is not, a mini in the NBA. So it's a good, handful or two of games like that, but it's not always.
Did you ever doubt that you would get the opportunity, or did you ever doubt yourself?
Nah, I don't know what that means, man.
I hear that.
I don't know what that means, but I doubt myself, man. I know the work that I put in behind closed doors, even to the aspect of when I wasn't playing in my first year and second year. I would always go in with John Lucas. John Lucas, y'all know his rep, man, for what kind of trainer he is, man. He's crazy. So, I'm shooting 100 threes in spots from the two corners and the top of the key. And then we're playing, 2-on-2 full court. I did that every day. Every day that I didn't play as my rookie year, and then I did it, twice, when it came down to me only playing on back-to-backs. I would come in early before any of the other guys, and, I'm upstairs in the other gym playing 2-on-2 in a full-blown sweat. And, I'm getting my work in. And then nights where I would maybe play a little bit, maybe not play a little bit on games that weren't back-to-backs. After the game, I'm going right back up to the gym right after the game and get my shots up and just right on the gun. So, I spend a lot of time in the gym, as I still do now.
No, I know that for a fact now. That's why I see it up and close. That's crazy. So let's go back. So you were part of a big, significant trade. Was that exciting, the trade to the Clippers? Was that an exciting time for you? How did you view that trade?
It was more so of a surprise and then I would say excitement, because when it first kind of came out, it came out like twice. When it first came out, I wasn't a part of it.
Yeah.
It was like Sam, Pat, Lou, and that was really it. But then when it came down to the finalization of it, and then the crazy thing is, well, after it first came out, they kind of was telling me that, I was going to be good and wasn't nothing to really worry about. I was still going to be there. Then when it came out the second time.
We heard that before.
Yeah, right. And then when it came out into the finalization of the trade, it was me, Sam, Lou, and Pat, and honestly, I just looked at it as, another opportunity, to the point where I was going to be able to go into a team where, at the 4 and the 5 position, that was already solidified as far as players, because at that point in time, I was coming onto the team. We had Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah.
But, after that, it was open. And I just really just, relished in the moment of, I'm going to have an opportunity to go in here and prove myself, go in here and improve how hard I work, how hard that I come in and approach the game each day, and to be able to put myself in position to be able to get minutes. Just like I looked at it like, when I went into playing at the University of Louisville, really.
Well, that's what, okay. That's a good segue, but I'll transition to this. So you went to the Clippers, the trade is going on over there, and at one point, this is where I started just seeing you just explode confidence-wise, because I was to see the Montrezl in Houston. Obviously, we didn't see a lot of you, and then to see the confidence you had from day one over there at the Clippers. I always wondered where that come from. So I'm gonna ask this question: what did Doc Rivers first say to you? What was the meeting like with him when you first acquired? What did he tell you that he expected of you and what he wanted you to do?
Well, the crazy thing is, he kind of knew that, I could really play the game of basketball, because my season high with the Rockets, I gave him to the Clippers.
Got you. Whoa.
I had 30.
That'll do it, yeah.
So my season high with the Rockets, I actually scored on the Clippers. I had 30.
That's what's up.
So he kind of knew what type of player I was. I was one of those guys that was a relentless players on both ends of the floor, doing all the little things that need to be done as far as, going out the block shot, taking charges, just never giving up on the play. And then on the offensive end of the floor, he kind of knew that I could score the ball, from being able to catch with my back to the basket and being able to catch it in the position of, setting screens and rolling and being able to finish. So, he kind of seen my game, but, I definitely didn't think he knew as far as, how hard I really worked at my game behind closed doors and all the aspects of, going, getting with my trainers and, working out every day in the summer, and then going and playing on the weekends in a lot of different programs and a lot of different leagues.
Now, you've gotten better, it seems like, every year. Doc Rivers gave you that shot, the opportunity. When did you first know? Were you ever told, or Doc Rivers just let you play? But when did you first know that you were an everyday rotation guy, like you will be used in meaningful minutes every single game?
When it started to come down to the point of, basically looking at the rotations. When you're starting to hear your name called more and more in certain situations. And
what was that feeling like?
It's basically one of those times where I was just ready. honestly. I mean, I just always been one of those players where I was just ready when my name is called, man, because, you know, my best friend when I came into this league was KJ McDaniels, and we always had a saying, and, you know, the saying was, if you stay ready, you never got to get ready.
No doubt.
You know, so that's how we always carried ourselves coming into the game, and in every aspect that we was in. You know, we definitely kind of built that mindset together, being around one another, and it just, you know, always stuck with me, really. So it was just, you know, whenever my name was called, whatever time it was going to be, or whenever I got out there on the floor, you know, I was going to do the things that I needed to do in order to help position my team to be able to win the game, you know, for us to be able to, you know, just make that push over to win.
You and Lou Williams have formed this just dynamic reserve 1-2 punch that I can't even remember seeing before, period. Like, it's that unprecedented. How much do you guys elevate each other?
A lot, man. A lot, honestly. And the chemistry builds, you know, farther in the game of basketball, because Lou was always one of those people that, you know, coming around the game of basketball and really, you know, coming on as an NBA player. He was one of those players that, you know, I definitely wanted to just meet, you know, just because, you know, who he is, you know, person that's, you know, his lifestyle, how he came up in the game, and how
his lifestyle is interesting.
Yeah, man, but it's just, you know, just him in general, man. You know, for somebody to, you know, come into the game and, you know, be under one of the greats of Allen Iverson, and go to Toronto, and, you know, to do the things he does there. Then he comes to the Lakers, and, you know, he's, you know, embraced that rotation, that mindset, that whole individuality as, you know, being that actual six-man player. And, you know, just listen to his whole story and just his whole upcoming, you know, from, you know, coming straight out of high school, you know, he's one of those players. You know, when you look at players that come out of high school, you see, you know, the KGs, the Kobe Bryants, the Dwight Howards, LeBrons, you know, but here's another guy from, you know, from Memphis but lived in Atlanta, Georgia, coming out of high school.
And didn't he fall in the second round as well?
I'm not even sure about that. Maybe. It may have been, you know, but he's one of these guys that can easily be put in rotation of a starter, and, you know, he's still coming out the bench doing what starters do. And he's basically the one that basically taught me that mindset of, you know, how to do it, how to carry yourself, really, man, because it's not really, it doesn't really matter, honestly. You know, if you start or if you come off the bench, man, it's really just, you know, when the lights go off, that's who your name's called. When the lineups come out, it's no different.
And you bring up that mindset. Lou talks about, he was like, I really said something like this early in the year. He's like, look, everybody say I'm this bench guy, but look, he said, I didn't go volunteer and say I want to be a bench guy. This is kind of what the coaches did, and, you know, I bought into that, and now that's what I am right now. You, Montrezl, look, right now, if you look in the league, if you name the top 5 big men in the league, I think you got to be in that list. And if you're not, you're right at the tail end of that. It's debatable. Do you view yourself like you've embraced this role? Like, do you view yourself as just, you know, I'm this dominant 6-man type, or do you say, hey, I will embrace any role or whatever? Like, what is your perception of your game and your role in this league?
Honestly, I embrace myself as a hooper, man. I embrace myself as somebody that, you know, when my name is called, no matter if it's at the start of the game, 5 minutes into the game, 10 minutes into the game, man, when you call my name and it's time for me to go into the game, you know what you're going to get. So, you know, it's not really up to me. It's up to the coaches and, you know, what they feel is best for our team and what they feel is, you know, best at that, you know, given night. But I really don't care, man. I just know once that ball is thrown up and I'm out there on the floor, I know everything after that, you know I have control over.
You've been around Lou. You've been around Lou.
Yeah.
That's good stuff, though. But I remember a game this season, Montrezl, I was, you know, in Staples Center, our seats, I don't know if you know where our seats are at, but we're like behind the basket, the court, the basket that's by you guys' bench. So I get a pretty good view. One time you checked into a game. I'm not going to mention the team, not going to mention the players. I ain't going to start nothing. You checked into a game, and one of the players were like, they asked his teammate, hey, you got him? You got him? He was like, I thought you had him. He's like, do you got him? He was like, he didn't say it. He was like, all right, then he went and got you. But the point is, like, you're coming in and already imposing your will before the ball is even in bounds yet. Like, I see, like, when you on the pick and rolls, you attacking that basket. You're already like one of the most imposing players out there in the league. Like, do you feel that? Is that something you feel when you step on the court?
I mean, a little bit, but I mean, I more so feel it throughout my team, man. Just being around these guys and just being able to build that chemistry, and guys know, what I'm going to bring to the floor once I step on the floor, man. I'm not one of those guys who shy away from contact. I'm not one of those guys who try to, make the game pretty. Me myself, man. I built myself and my whole, mindset of just being a dog. That's what I established and what I label myself as now, even to this day, man. Because, I watched all the guys that, were kind of like in that undersized position, but they didn't back down from anything. And the person that I really idolized the most that, had me shift into that mindset and, just being able to try to just patent my game after a lot of different things he done, that was Zach Randolph.
No doubt.
Even to this day, to this day, I still, communicate with Zebo on different things and different aspects of the game, man. I want to be able to, this summer I'm probably going to get with him and just being able to extend my game into that aspect of that, jab, jump shot from right there. Zebo was one of the best to even do it. And, I could probably count on how many times Zebo has dunked the basketball in the game, man. But nobody blocked the shot because, he's a physical specimen. He's not one of those guys who's going to shy away from contact, man. He's going to get down there, put his body on you, put his shoulders into your chest, man, and he's going to jump probably like this high off the ground, but he's going to finish over you, man. And that's something that I really idolize the most. I just been blessed to be able to have a lot more athleticism and being able to go out and dunk the basketball.
And you can utilize your athleticism whenever you want. One thing I saw you added to your game is that floater.
Yeah.
You don't see many 6'10" guys going out throwing the floater out there.
Right.
How has that helped you, and why did you implement that into your game?
Just being in that playmaking spot, basically. We run a lot of pick and rolls. I mean, everybody in the NBA runs a lot of pick and rolls, but, 9 times out of 10, that's what it's going to come down to. And you got a lot of different guys, throwing a lot of different coverages. A lot of different bigs are taught to just sit back in the lane and, meet the guy at the rim. I mean, but if I'm catching the ball in this middle area and I'm shooting the ball, before I even come to the rim to even give you time to contest it, then you're going to have to start changing up your coverages. And then I think that's when it starts working out in my favor to the point where you have to step up on me. Now I'm being able to use my athleticism and my quickness to be able to go past you. So, I mean, it's just really just, expanding my game on all different levels. As, I've been doing ever since I came in the league. And I really just take my workouts in the summer as seriously as possible. And everything that I work on in my game is being put in an in-game situation every weekend. A lot of people just work out all month, all summer long with, no type of in-game reps, You're not going to be going against a chair. You're not going to be going against a cone that's standing right there. No, you're going to be going against somebody else that's moving. You're going to be able to, get the ball in certain different aspects, and somebody's going to be able to, swipe their hand down or dig in there, man. So everything that I do in my workouts are, really taking on like an in-game situation, and then I go and apply that on the weekends when I go and play in all these different programs that I play in.
Yeah, I see you play in the Drew League a lot in the summer.
I play in the Drew, I play in the ABL, I play in the Dykeman, I play in, it's a couple more that I want to try to get to this summer. Gersh down in, I want to say D.C. area. It's a Brunson League down in like Baltimore, man. So
you're really just a hooper, man.
Yeah.
Some people will say, hey, well, you gotta minimize the workload that you have in the off season.
I do. That first week, week and a half. That first week and a half, I don't touch the basketball. That first week and a half, I'm solely with my family, with my kids. I don't, really touch the basketball at all. I don't work out in the week, weekends or nothing. I'm literally just with my family, with my kids, and just, enjoying the time that, just sitting back, going over the year. And then after that, it's time for me to get back to work. I maybe will change it, later on in the years when I hit that older stage, my 28, 29, years of age. But, right now I'm young, man. I'm 25 years old, about to go on 26 in January, man. And, I I don't know how long I'm going to have my athleticism. I don't know how long I'm going to have this ability to be able to have this step and this quickness that I do. So I'm going to be able to take, all the time that I can to keep perfecting it and keep getting it better and being able to use it when it's time for me to go into my actual in-work space.
I hear that. Do you believe in, do you listen to, obviously you're pretty sure you had critics early on in your career. Do you use any of that as a motivation or you just drown it out?
I use all of them, man, honestly.
So you remember some of those things?
I remember a lot of them. I remember all of them, really, man. But, that's why I am who I am. If I was a person that being able to, just listen to those guys and just say those guys was right, then I'd never be where I am today.
What stuck with you? What's something that was said or written about you that stuck with you?
Everything, man. This person is not tall enough to be able to play in the NBA. He doesn't have the foot speed to be able to guard guards off the pick and roll in the NBA. This guy's not tall enough to be able to play his position. This guy can't shoot the ball, so he's not going to be able to make it. I heard this from, even my hometown city, even when I was in high school, playing the game, man. I didn't really care. I really lived up to it. This guy is, around that time aspect when I was playing in high school, it was like, oh, he's just taller than everybody. He can't do this. He can't do that. I heard it all, man. But, it sticks with me. And, that's why, like I said, I'm the dog that I am today, man, because it don't bother me. It don't faze me, man. You can do all this talking and do all this, mouthing off of, how you feel about what Montrezl Harrell is. But, the thing about it is, none of you can walk in the shoes that I walked in, and none of you damn sure can get in the ring and do what I do.
No doubt about that, yeah.
I put myself up against anybody there is. I don't care who it is. It's just the saying of how it goes, man. You throw some meat in the cage with me in the line, and I bet you I come out wrong. That's how I look at myself every time I step on the floor.
Yeah, I think that points to that situation. Like I said, I observed with the players. They didn't want to guard you. So let's kind of. I don't want to disrespect the season, but I think where you've come from, second round pick, to not playing the first couple of years, really, to the player you are now. You're setting yourself up for an excellent summer coming up when you're a free agent. Now, I don't want to get too much into that, get you in trouble, but I do want to ask, when you do think about where you've come from and when you weren't playing or you was counted out and how it can all just come back full circle and work in your benefit for this summer. Like, what do you think about after, all throughout that process?
I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed. At the end of the day, man, I get to wake up every morning and be able to, get in my car and drive to a basketball gym and be able to lace my shoes up and be able to call this work. A lot of people got to get up and work these 9 to 5s and get up and go into an office where, they aren't happy, but they got to do it because they have to provide for the people that they have and the people that depend on them. Me, I'm not in that situation. I'm blessed to be able to get out here every day and, put on my shoes and lace my shoes up and play a game that I love and that I give all my passion and effort to, and be able to call it my job. So at the end of the day, man, I look at it as a complete blessing. It's something that, my grandmother kind of instilled in me as a young child, and, I owe it all to her because, when I first started playing sports, the game that I played first was baseball. That was the first game.
Is that right?
Yeah, my pops taught me how to play baseball first.
What position did you play?
I used to play everything, really. I played pitcher and outfield all the way up until like high school. I really stopped taking it complete seriously. Probably after that middle school stage, because he was going into high school, and I wanted to, I was playing football. I played every sport, honestly, man. I played football, baseball, basketball, and I did track.
That's interesting. Your pops introduced you to baseball first.
Yeah. Because my dad was in the with his job, they was in like a fast-pitch softball league. Okay. So I used to always go out there and watch my pops play. And, but the first sport that I ever learned how to play was baseball. I used to switch hit and all that.
Is that right?
Yeah. But then I hit a growth spurt.
That'll change some things.
Yeah, I hit a growth spurt. But I always loved the game of basketball because, at the end of the day, my grandmother is the one that, put the ball in my hands in general. Even when I was younger, she bought me like all the little toy basketball goes that you hang up. I probably had 1 million of those things hanging around the house. And she's the one that kind of instilled the game of basketball in me. And just, watching her, from the time that I was younger into growing up, I watched her, deal with a lot of different things as far as, diabetes. My grandma, she's partially blind now, arthritis, just all different things like that, man. So, that's what the game kind of brought me into, falling even more in love with, just because she was the first one to kind of, put the ball in my hand.
Is she able to follow you closely?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She might, like I said, she's partially blind. She has her good and her bad days to the point, some days she can't really see too much. And then, some days her eyesight is, there to the point where she can see and, make out who I am. But she never misses a game because, when you start to lose one sense in the body, another one gets stronger, so she hears everything, and her hearing is amazing. So even when she's having those days where her eyesight isn't the best, she's still listening to my games as right? With my family watching back home.
So I'm curious to know this. So the Montrez that you are now, you screaming, you were electric. Like, is there something that she would say? Has she ever called you after a game and said, "Hey, Montrez, I heard you say this, or I didn't like this, or why'd you do this?" Like, is there something?
That's
like
that? 10 is me cursing. I talk about 10 is me cursing because the way the game is now, they mic'd up all around those rims, man. So 9 times out of 10, it's probably one of those sayings that I end up saying something, man, it's bleeped out, and she called me on there and like, "Oh, I know what you said." So,
that's good stuff, man. That's all love. What has it been like? You've been here in LA for a couple years now. Now, the level of anticipation, excitement is just tripled with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George came. What has it been like with those two guys on the team? As far as what has it been like for the team dynamic, and what has it been like just the buzz around the city?
The buzz around the city. It's going to be what it is, man. How it's supposed to be Lakers town this, and, Lakers are this, and, but in general, the Clippers are, a team that we're still building, we're still growing, man. We have two dynamic superstars and, Kawhi and PG and guys who came over and, being able to still grow and build with us with a team that, wasn't supposed to make the playoffs last year. And we changed pieces and, we've lost some great pieces along the way. Some young guys who definitely had a great run with us along the way, man. But at the same time, we're still learning because, this isn't the full team that was, together last year. Yeah. But I think we're going in the right direction because you put two guys on the team who, aren't really for, the limelight, the partying, the going out, all being in media and stuff like that. No, you put two guys that on the team that, love the game of basketball, love to work, love to come in and just, be around and just, play the game the right way. And once you, put people like that with what we already had on our team, man, I think, it works hand in hand.
I see it. I see it. I see the transformation process still going. You guys still trying to, trying to get all the kinks out. But I still say, this is just my personal opinion. Like, barring injuries, knocking on wood, but barring injuries, I don't see how LA is not representing the Western Conference when it's all said and done. I don't need you to say anything. I'm just saying that's just my opinion. So I just think this has the potential to have a hell of a season, especially around here. That's why I'm in LA a lot. Let me ask you this. So is there anything from Kawhi? Is there anything that surprised you? A funny tidbit or something that surprised you about him that you didn't know?
No, not really, but he does. He talks a lot more than what people really say, man. Okay. He's not one of those guys that just come in to the locker room or come onto the plane and he's just mute. Like he doesn't say anything. Nah, he interacts with the guys, joking. Always, making comments. Just he's a funny guy, man. When it all boils down to it, a lot of people see him in the media and looks at the general responses that he really gives back, and kind of thinks oh, this guy's boring or he's weird or something like that. But nah, man, he's a real fun guy to be around with, man. Even when I come into the locker room. My thing, I wear jewelry and stuff like that. So 9 times out of 10, I come to the locker room, he's already making jokes, money man coming in, stuff like that. I'm like, you got the wrong one, man. Like, we into the position, baby. That's
right
you.
now.
So, like I said, man, he's a fun guy to be around, man. So, I definitely think that's one of the things that, I was really kind of shocked by, because, when you see him on other teams, you kind of just see him on the court, and, that's really it, and then on the court, he's all about business. That's what it is. When it comes to the game of basketball, he's a worker. He's one of the guys that carries himself the right way, both on and off the court, and you definitely see that when you're around him.
So that fun guy narrative really fits him.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
That really fits. I want to go back to Lou real quick, because I didn't bring this up, but you guys are the top 2 reserves in the league. Respect to Derrick Rose, what he's doing over there. Do you, Lou, ever talk about, like, damn, like, we kind of messing up these other chances for the, 6th man of the year, like votes to get split? Do y'all ever talk about it?
Nah, no, we don't pay it no mind. Honestly, we just go out there and play the game of basketball. We go out there and, enjoy, what we're able to do, playing with one another, the chemistry that we built, over the summer. A lot of people don't really understand that the chemistry that me and Lou have is coming from, being able to go out here and go to Atlanta to be able to play with him in the ABL. I've been playing with Lou on his team in Atlanta probably for the past 3 years.
All right. Okay.
And that chemistry that we built, it comes from that, being able to work and just keep, getting our chemistry tighter and tighter, and just being able to, gel and being able to learn and feed off of, each one of our play. It's completely different. But, when you get both of us on the floor at the same time, and, it's really magical, really.
Did that, so him invite, I take it he invited you to come out there?
Nah, the crazy thing is, I kind of, like I said, it was around that time where it was like my second year in the league. So it was the summer going into my second year. I was just, like I said, playing at the pro-ams. And, I went down to Atlanta. And the crazy thing is, I didn't play on his team that first game. Mm-hmm. And the team that I played on was a team that, really didn't play the right way. They was just more so about, putting up their own shots and just trying to go out there and turn it into a show.
And you requested a trade?
Really, I just asked, honestly, because like I said, I knew this is Lou. His program, basically, that kind of helped bring it up to where it is now. And, I kind of just start asking people around, talking to some of the guys there. And, it kind of went like that. And the guys kind of reached out to Lou because he wasn't there that first day. Mm-hmm. And he was coming back the second day. He was like, well, I get back today. Put him on the team. We see how it go from there. And then we haven't looked back since then.
And now you guys actually use that time to better crispen up the chemistry you guys got going on.
Correct. And like he works out who he works out in the summer. I work out with my training in the summer. But, on that Saturday and Sunday, whenever we have our game, because usually it's only one day of the weekend, it's either the Saturday or the Sunday, that's what time we use to get in, and, the things that we worked on throughout the week, being able to work on our game together, really, and just gel.
Now, you mentioned the Lakers earlier. Christmas Day game, you can see them again. You saw them the first game of the season. Y'all took care of business, got the win. With the electricity and buzz that's been going around the city, what is that Christmas Day game? What is that going to be like for you and the Clippers?
Team-wise, it's definitely going to be it's going to be a test because, we played them in the first beginning of the season, and, everybody was just, hype and ready to get out there and play a game of basketball where we're not playing against one another. And, now it comes down to the point where now we have both PG and Kawhi back on the floor. The Lakers are in a good space, so where they're playing at right now, they're in a good swing of things. So it's definitely going to be a test, I think, for both teams. Me in general, man, it's just going to be special because, I've never been a part of, a team, out of my two teams that I played on with the Clippers and the Rockets to the point where, I'm playing on Christmas Day. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be something special, man. And, that's why I look at it as, I always watch those games no matter who's playing, no matter, what their record is at that point in time, man. I've always watched those games where they played on Christmas, man. So to be a part of it is just going to be something special. I'm going to have my kids out here. My family, a couple of family members going to be out here, man. So it's just going to be a special time for me.
I can't wait. I'll definitely be there. Got to get the family out there for that as well. You was the 32nd pick in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Fought your way up, man. You know, there are players, Montrezl, who end up being second-round pick or undrafted guy. I think Fred VanVleet is a great story as well. But there's always those guys that fall under the radar that end up, becoming major players in the league. But what's interesting to me about you is that you've transformed into this imposing player. You know what I mean? It's one thing to come in, be this good player now. You're a good player. I put a fit. But I'm saying, like, it's that Shaq level of imposing. You know what I mean? It's like, how did that grow? It's like, were guys feared then? It's like, because it seemed like if you're going to be an imposing player, you just are. That's just you.
All right.
And, so that's what's really incredible about your story to me is about how much fear you've instilled now, how you attack the basket. Like, you go in just like you're ready for a collision. Right. You're not going to flinch.
Right.
And you said that was always there. You just need the time.
Yeah, it was, man. I've been playing like this, like I said, ever since I can remember, man. And like I said, it's a big testament to watching guys like Zach Randolph, man, guys that are physical specimens and, guys that really come and play with that force, guys like Shaq, even who I talk to Shaq as well. He's another guy that I communicate with on social media and just being able to, see greats like him reach out and give feedback to me and my game and stuff like that, man. It's a tremendous blessing.
That's what's up.
It's a tremendous blessing, man, to the point where, I was around Shaq this summer playing in the Drew League, played against his son, Sharif. Yep. And, just being able to hear the comments and the well wishes and, how proud of me that he said he is, from where I've came and, and brought my game up to, man, it's a tremendous blessing, man. And, but in general, man, like I told you, man, I've always felt like, that's all I know how to play with, just being a dog, man. That's all I know. And, it's something that worked out in my favor. It's something that's blessed me to be where I am today, man. But, the way that the game is transitioning, a lot of guys don't want to, have to deal with that physicality all game. Like you said, a lot of guys are trying to transition to be able to shoot the ball from the outside of three and, to being able to, become spot shooter and stuff like that, man. But it's two sides of the floor, man. So you got to go and deal with, people that are, imposing this whole physical specimen on you over and over again, man. It's going to be pretty tiring for you to go down the other end and shoot that ball,
no doubt.
So, it's something that I feel that I do well. It's something that's a big part of my game. It's something that's never going to leave my game because, it blessed me to be where I am today, and that's what I think, helps a lot with my team. They know once I come into the game that, that physicality notch and that physicality level just went from, being a 7 to a 15, 20. That's what I'm coming to impose the will. And, like I said, being able to be on the floor with guys like Lou, he knows that's what I'm bringing to the game, man. And, it's a lot of times that, I may catch myself to the point where I didn't go up as strong as I should have. And, guys like Lou is going to let me know and he's going to hold me accountable to it. He tells me all the time, if I go up and, I feel or he feels that it was one of those points where I could have went up and, dunked the ball to the point where I get a defensive chance to be able to block it. He tell me, hey, it's time to get back on your gorilla.
That's what he said.
That's what it is.
Get back on your gorilla.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Was there ever any bitterness with the Houston situation?
No.
It's all just business.
It's business. I mean, if you look at the game and you look at today's NBA, man, you look at guys who are, MVPs, guys who are all-stars, guys who are, 13, 14 years in who are still up to being able to be traded, man. I'm no different, man. Yeah. I was in my third year of the league, man. So it's a business thing, man. There's no hard feelings there. It's nothing that I really, pay attention to nowadays, man. I just knew that, like I said, if these guys are having a chance to be able to be put on the trade blocks, and they've been in this game and they've established themselves and they know their worth and what their worth proves itself, man. I'm no different.
No doubt. I respect that. I respect that answer. When you think about the players that's going to come up, some may get drafted second round, some may go undrafted. Not getting time early on. You've been through all of that.
Mm-hmm.
What's the advice you give to players like that?
Really, man, it's just, never really quit, really, man. If you're in this, whatever situation you're in or whatever aspect you're in, man, if anybody's looking at you as far as NBA team or NBA scouts programs, any of that, man, they're looking at you for a reason. Mm-hmm. So whatever you do well in your game or in your aspect, that's what you bring to the game, man, just, grow that. Don't go out here and try to prove that you're, something that, basically you're not, man. Mm-hmm. Can you be able to get better at those things? Yes. It all comes with work. It all comes with the time. It all comes with, how much you put into the game to be able to better yourself, man. But if you got something that you do great in the game that you feel that, you stand out for or, that other people feel that you stand out for, man, relish in that. Yeah. Take that to the highest level you can take that in, man. That's what I did. I felt like, coming into the league, everybody, even to this day, people still talk about what? The hustle that I bring, the energy that I bring to the game, man. That's what I built myself around. And now it's just about what I've instilled and what I've added into my game to the point of now you see me doing all the little things of, being able to handle the ball off the dribble, shooting the floater, like you said, man, just adding things into my game, man. But that hustle, that energy is still to the point of where every time I step on the floor, nobody's going to be able to match that. You're known as a hustle guy, a guy with a motor, which is true. But I think one thing that goes unnoticed, I think intelligence on the court. And what I mean by that, I just see, like, you're not going to just back down every player. You're not going to do the same move on every player. Can you talk about, like, what do you see out there on the court when you look at certain personnel and how they defend you? Like, what are you looking at and what do you gauge, what you're going to do on that given possession? Really, man, I take what the defense is going to give me. And I kind of learned that, by just being able to, like I said, work with my trainer and just being able to look at everything that we'll do in that training setting is taking it in like an NBA game setting. And, when it comes down to it, a lot of people don't get the freedom that I have to be able to, catch that ball in that mid-post area to, extended post area and being able to go one-on-one, not unless you're really, that guy. I've been able to be successful at it, and it's because I worked at it, and it's all, given to my trainer, and Rico Hines, and he's the assistant coach with Kings, Sacramento, and that's big testament because he's a gym rat, man. He's one of these guys that's been around the game of basketball for numerous of years, even back to Baron Davis and Steven Jackson years, man. So he understands the NBA game. But really, man, it's really what the defense is giving me, man. Being able to, see and look at this person and know what he's going to be able to give up by the time I even put the ball on the floor. A lot of people are, I go against a variety of bigs all the time. Some guys that are, 7 foot tall, strong, but, their foot speed isn't there. Some guys who are a little bit quicker, close to around the same height, same size as I am, but, that strength isn't there. Mm-hmm. So, man, it's really just understanding the game of basketball and, never really, taking time off, really, man. We play, every team we're going to play in the NBA, every team's going to play each other once. Mm-hmm. No matter what, we're always going to play each other once. In the Western Conference is when you're going to see teams multiple times. The thing about that is that NBA channel never sleeps. Okay. That league pass is always on. Yeah. So, when I'm at home, I don't really watch too much TV. If I watch a TV show, it's only going to be 2 shows. And later in the day, it's going to be probably like 3 cartoons. That's my regimen. That's how it is.
What's the shows? What's the cartoons?
The shows that is going to be on my TV, no NBA games are running at that point in time. It's going to be Law & Order SVU. And it's going to be Chicago PD. Okay.
That's it. That's what, okay.
If those ain't on, then 9 times out of 10, I'm on the game.
All right. Shout out to Detective Benson.
Most definitely, man. I watch that show hand in hand like every day. throughout the afternoon times when nothing's on. And then the cartoons that's going to roll around the nighttime is probably going to be American Dad, Family Guy, and probably Rick and Morty.
All right.
You feel me? And then when that goes off, then I'm going into my older TV shows, and they're basically just showing reruns, like Martin, the Wayans brothers, Jamie Foxx show. That's basically just showing reruns. You feel me?
That's our childhood.
But throughout watching all of that, that league pass is always on. Like today, it's like 6 games I want to say, and I know when all of them are coming on, I'm going to go home and I'm watching those games. I'm watching those players, watching the things that they're doing in the game. How people are guarding certain people different ways. And it's all a learning and a teaching process. Like we go into every locker room and during every game before the game, we have a scouting report on our chair. About what this guy's been doing, how he did in his last game. The plays that they're going to run and stuff like that. I take it and I throw it on the floor because I'm watching this already.
You already got
I'm watching all of these games,
and you probably got some stuff that they don't. That's
right.
Not even.
And then if I have missed one of the games, or I feel like I want to look at specific of what they did the last game, then that's when I go to my video guys and tell them to put that on the iPad, and they give it to me then.
Wow.
So it's all about studying the game. Like I said, man, I'm blessed to be able to play this game of basketball and be able to call it a job. So I get to go out here and get to watch basketball highlights, basketball clips, and being able to make myself smarter as a player, as opposed to guys that got to go and look at a 90-page, portfolio or a 90-page packet and being able to pick out every little comment, every little, mark of where this person messed up at, man. Like, I don't have to do that.
You got that already.
Right.
And so a player like you, I would imagine, it kind of annoys you when there's some players out there who don't watch basketball, don't watch their opponents, and then they're just going to the game ill-prepared.
I mean, definitely when they go into the game unprepared, most definitely. But at the same time, it's all about the level of, going back to what you said in the IQ. Because there's guys on my team that, don't watch basketball as much and can be able to pick up that scouting report and, see this guy does this good, this guy is known for this, and they pick it up and being able to instill into a game. But if you go out there and you're just completely lost, then that's when I have a problem, because we had all this time to prepare, even all the way down to the point of before you stepping on the court for your warm-up, to be able to look over and see what this guy does, what he's going to do when he get in the game, and know, how to take it away. Are you going to be able to take it away every time on the floor? No, because that's just the game of basketball. It's going to be some things that break down to the point where the shot's going to go in, no matter how good of defense you play. But it's still to the point where you have a knowledge of knowing that, okay, he likes to do this. This person likes going left. This person likes going right. He likes being able to just shoot coming off this screen. He likes to be able to just, try to drive this direction. It's like, muscle memory.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, when you playing in this game, you're only gonna play these Eastern Conference teams twice. Yeah. Once on your home court, once on their home court. But everybody that you play in that Western Conference, you got to know them like a book.
No doubt.
You're gonna play them like four to 5 times. You got to know them like a book.
No doubt.
So to the point where, I've been in the NBA, this is my 5th year in the NBA. That scouting report, I don't need it. That scouting report, it's one of the things that, my video guys, they laugh at it and they take it as, because I'm big on superstition. Okay. It's one of my superstitions. I go in the locker room, I sit my shoe bag down or whatever shoes I have that night, take that scouting report, I'm tossing it in the middle of the floor. Because like I said, man, it's a muscle memory thing, man. I don't watch this guy play a numerous amount of years, or I don't watch what this guy done did the past 3 or 4 games that, it's not going to be no different tonight.
Got you.
He's not going to go out here and try something different outside his game tonight and be uncomfortable.
That's for real.
So,
that's real.
It's a study thing.
And since you're superstitious, I was going to say, why they keep putting the scouting report on your...
That's what it is. That's what it is. Because they feel like if they don't do it, then it's going to be something that's out of my routine.
Exactly.
I got the same routine down to everything, man. My pregame, meal, all that, down to everything, even down to me when wearing 2 pairs of shoes each game, man. It's just superstitious.
Oh, man, that's crazy. Montrezl, I swear this is my last question. I swear. Kawhi Leonard, post-game, takes like an hour or so doing whatever he does just to get his treatment and everything like that. Like I said, you're one of the most imposing players out there. You're always banging bodies. I would imagine you having you go through some post game treatments. What is your post game treatment? What does that entail?
I mean, mine isn't that, that far in, but I've been blessed to not really deal with any major injuries or anything like that. And, mine is more so just icing my knees and the cold foot baths with ice and water, man. Just being able to take care of my knees and my feet because, like I said, I play in a variety of different shoes, that it don't bother me, but at the same time, I still want to be able to take care of them just because I know I'm going to continue to keep doing this. But, at the same time, after games, I may lift weights, so it's a little bit different. Like, tomorrow after the game, I'm going to lift weights. It's just
Pat Beverly. I know he does that as well.
Yeah, everybody's regimen is a little bit different, man. Everybody's body is a little bit different, so it's all about, where you're at as a player. So me, that's really mine. Some days I get a lift in, come in, but after every one of those games, I'm going to ice my knees and I'm going to, take care of my feet just because this is what, helps me go out here and be able to perform. Being able to run up and down this court, being able to jump over and over consistently like I do. I got to take care of those two things importantly.
No doubt. I mean, you've been taking care of it, and you're looking like you're setting up, man. I wish you luck on the rest of this season, man. Look, Montrezl, you went from second-round pick to, gathering DMPs to now, you are a star in your own right with the Clippers and what you do, man. So I think, upcoming players that's looking at somebody to model their game after or just even model their approach, that's definitely you, man.
Thank
so
you.
I appreciate you coming on,
you, sir.
preaching that here, man.
Yes, sir.
Montrezl Harrell, star for the Los Angeles Clippers here on Post It Up.